the necessity of its removal and the need for future cooperation of the two countries, and the consent that the thorny issue of the boundaries would be resolved following their liberation from communism and Soviet imperialism by freely elected governments of the two countries. And obviously, no action followed. Other Ukrainian political centers which operated in the emigration or diaspora did not, to the best of my knowledge, engage in active relations with Polish counterparts. Polish-Ukrainian interaction took place on a level of political conceptualization, scholarship, culture, foremost in the press and journals, scholarly conferences, joint publications, and for formation of small Ukrainian Polish societies and discussion groups in Western Europe and on the American continent. The first significant impulse for the normalization of Polish-Ukrainian relations following the bloody and brutal events which were described by colleagues Vnuk and Shapoval came from the Paris-based Polish monthly Kultura and the publication enterprise Instytut Literacki under the editorship of Jerzy Giedroyc and his principal political publicist Juliusz Miroszewski. Jerzy Giedroyc, whose credentials included the editorship of two interesting pre-war publications, Bund Młodych i Polityka, formulated a political program which already in the 1950s and early 1970s, among others, included the recognition of the existing borders of 1945. 2, the need for a close Ukrainian cooperation. 3, Polish support for an independent Ukraine, Lithuania, and Belarus. The program was received among the majority of the Polish emigre community with considerable consternation and even open ridicule. On the Ukrainian side, it was acknowledged by many, also with suspicion, as a trick by an Piłsudskiite of the younger generation who attempted to take the Ukrainian cause under Polish patronage. Nevertheless, Giedroyc's program attracted the attention of several dozen respected Ukrainian scholars, intellectuals, and publicists, and gained him in the 1960s and between 1960s and 1990s approximately 200 Ukrainian subscribers. Kultura program was opposed by a variety of East European nationalists, including Ukrainian and Polish, for example, of the Endecja variety. It must be pointed out that Giedroyc and Miroszewski were not anti-Russian. On the contrary, they believed that a stable democratic national Russian state was in the interest of the other East Central European countries. After 1960s, Giedroyc favored a two-track approach toward Poland, Ukraine, and Russia, as well as other East European countries under communist rule. And also through official exchange channels and unofficially wherever it was possible. The future political elites and governments could not be exported from the immigration to their homelands, but they will emerge after a successful and hopefully peaceful change of regimes from local party opposition elites. And in this respect, he was close to the tradition of political thinking of the Krakow conservative school and its Ukrainian counterpart Wieczysław Łupieński, an ethnic Pole but a political Ukrainian thinker, who, by the way, has received recently much attention. The representatives of this tradition maintained that a successful or fundamental change of regimes could occur only if a significant part of the old elite would side with the new transformed political order. I had the privilege to know Jerzy Giedroyc personally for 45 years. And in many ways, he was a political visionary and a realist at the same time. And if I had to select the three most important popes of the 20th century, it would be the Pope John Paul II, Józef Piłsudski, and Jerzy Goebbels. However, among his greatest contributions was not only his editorial and publishing activities, 637 issues of Kultura, 140 plus issues of the City